Hi guys, so welcome back to another video. I want to talk a little bit about dating Chinese women. I don't want to stereotype here, but I've been with several Chinese women, and I think this will make a good video just to get started with on this subject, because there's a lot of interesting cultural factors which come into play. So some guys, when they're older, they're looking to marry. Think about Chinese women. There's a lot of Chinese women who are looking to marry Westerners. You can find a lot of websites set up for this exact purpose. We're not really talking about marriage, we're talking about dating, obviously younger women. So let's get started. So if you want to marry or you want to date Chinese women but you're curious and you want to find out more, I'll give you some information. So the first thing to note is that they are still very much more traditional in many ways, and of course this carries over to dating. So the ideas that are sometimes backwards are still really heavily entrenched in Chinese culture. So if you date Chinese women, I'm going to give you some things to be aware of. So, okay, I've mentioned this before, but they do like you to pay for stuff. Now this comes down to the man generally being expected to provide, to take care of the woman, even when they're going on dates, always offer to pay for everything. So that's something which keep in mind. If you go out to a restaurant, you'll be expected to pay, and that might go on for several dates. So if you're not really okay with that, do you really want to go out with a Chinese girl? Because this is really, really common. Number two, the date venue is very important. So they don't want to sit in a bar or a noisy club. They'd much rather probably date you in a restaurant, having dinner. And Chinese people, have to say, they do order a lot of food, not because they're greedy. They don't get the variety of flavors and tastes and textures. So going to a Chinese restaurant, you'll see a whole load of plates on the table. You won't get just one individual plate each. It's family style, so everybody's picking and sharing. And again, share your food, because that's important to them. And a lot of guys think, this is my food, I don't want to share it with anybody. That's crazy. If you go on a date with these women, you're going to offend them if you don't want to offer them your food, or you don't want to take food from them. So that's really important as well. So the next thing, after food, is alcohol. So a lot of guys think dates involve alcohol, and yeah, sure, you can certainly take a Chinese girl out, you can offer some wine, you can offer her beer, she'll probably accept, but the point is alcohol is drunk very differently. So it's very much for men to drink alcohol socially, but they don't really see it as playing such a big part, or Chinese men anyway, as playing such a big part when it comes to dating. Whereas here we're very much used to meeting a girl in a nightclub, you buy her a drink, you know, you meet casually, you go to the pub. Drinking's always a part of it, for sure. Whereas in Chinese culture, drinking is just not such a big deal for them, especially women who could well be quite teetotal and not really drinking alcohol very commonly. So don't think you'll just be able to take a Chinese girl out, get her drunk, take advantage, do whatever you want to do, because they probably won't let themselves get into that situation in the first place. When it comes to actually choosing a partner, now Chinese women who have in the past 20 years become very, very well educated, used to a very high standard of living, it means they're probably looking to meet somebody who's got a similar lifestyle to them. Now a lot of guys will possibly be intimidated because these women are very, very well educated. They have very high ideas about the kind of man they would like to settle down with, and it's going to be more difficult therefore to impress women from big cities like Shanghai, Beijing especially, because down to the one-child policy, a lot of Chinese women were very well educated by their parents who only had one shot at a child, so they tend to focus all their energy on making sure that child is the most well educated that they can possibly be. So this is going to sound negative, and I don't want to be negative because there are so many great things to enjoy, and the good points are that they are very polite and they are very attentive, and of course they are very well dressed. So whenever you meet them for a date, they're going to impress you. They're going to be very gentle, kind, nurturing. These kind of old-fashioned characteristics are still very much important to Chinese women, and they're going to offer you food, as I said before. They're going to possibly bring you gifts. The longer you know them, the longer you go out with them, of course, the more likely it is they're going to bring gifts from China whenever they go home. And they could be quite sexy, I guess. I mean, they have a great unique sense of style, and whenever I've dated Chinese women, I've always been impressed by their very personal attention to style and to their fashion. They don't follow fashion in such an obvious way as, say, Korean women. They've got their own unique style in terms of hair, makeup, clothes, accessories. If you pay attention to feminine fashion, you'll just love it because they always wear something new. They keep things interesting, and they want to impress. And yeah, you know, you get different kinds of Chinese women, of course, depending on where they're from. And it's easy to just say all Chinese women are like this. There are things I've noticed that are typical, but the idea is that they are quite open to dating other men from other countries. So you're more likely to meet Chinese women in big university towns. So in England we've got Birmingham, Oxford, London. So all of these cities have got prestigious universities where Chinese women are more likely to want to go to study. So if you live in any of those cities, you've got great opportunities to meet Chinese women. And unfortunately, because of COVID, a lot of Chinese women aren't traveling abroad at the moment, whereas before you just get hundreds and hundreds of Chinese students or Chinese visitors coming over to London, just wanted to look around. You'd have so many opportunities to meet Chinese women, and it sucks that you can't do that right now. So let's just hope we get through this terrible situation, and you're going to have so many ample opportunities. If it's your thing, just go for it. Talk to them, get their number, arrange to meet them. You're in. So Chinese women, they'll say yes or no. If they say yes, just go for it, because you've got nothing to lose and everything to gain when it comes to dating Chinese women. Just make sure you pay for that dinner, okay? So I'll see you next time, guys. And I think the next video I'm going to be talking about Hong Kong, because when it comes to Hong Kong, it's a little bit of a different ball game over there, because they've got all kinds of different women who come from other countries in Asia. So it's not just Chinese women you're meeting. It's, you know, Indonesian, Singaporean, Malaysian. They're all coming to Hong Kong because it's a huge financial hub. That is the next subject for my video. I'll talk about the time I visited Hong Kong. Had an amazing time. Can't wait to go back there. And just anything you want to say, just leave a note at the bottom. Okay, guys, so take it easy, and I'll see you next time.